Hey, what are you doing later?
I have to run some errands, get my nails done, dye my hair, get my cartilage pierced, go shopping, and get a bite to eat.
Oh my god, how do you afford all of that?
I got a new credit card, so I can buy anything I want now. It's amazing.
I don't think that's how it works.
What do you mean?
I just know there's more to it, but if we want to be really sure, we should definitely keep listening.
Welcome to Educashional,
Educashional.
a podcast for college students by college students about the basics of finance and how to survive in a world where money controls our lives.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth,
I'm Charisse.
and today we'll be talking about credit cards. The small plastic card issued by a bank or business allowing us to purchase goods and services.
So, as of now, I have a debit card, but I just turned 18 last month, so I've started thinking about getting a credit card so I can start building credit. I'm too scared to get one right now, though, because I feel like I'm not informed enough to use it responsibly. I've heard some basics from my business management class last year, but I just want to make sure I have all the information I need since I know it can lead to major consequences in the future.
Me too. And as college students, I'm sure a lot of you guys are in similar situations since we are all just emerging into the hectic world of adulthood.
So, specifically, what we want to discover is what a credit card is, tips on what to keep in mind when having a credit card, responsible payment methods, and future benefits of a credit card.
All right, let's get started answering these questions. So, first of all, let's go over the difference between a debit card and a credit card.
According to Thomas Riggs, with debit cards, money is taken directly from a checking or savings account at an ATM. Cardholders can also use debit cards to make purchases anywhere credit cards are accepted by directly withdrawing money straight from their bank account. Credit cards are different from debit cards because they do not take out funds directly from a checking account. Cardholders receive a bill at the end of each month, which can either be paid in full or paid less than the amount. However, there are downsides to this. When you neglect to pay a bill in full, your credit card company will charge you with interest on whatever is still owed.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. So, debit cards require less responsibility because you know exactly how much money you have, so you don't risk overspending. And since it's basically cash and card version, it's limited. You'll know when you run out.
Exactly.
So, what's the point of having a credit card then? It just seems risky.
The point of a credit card is so that you can build credit to basically prove to banks that you're responsible with your money. If you have a good credit score, then you're able to take out loans for larger payments in the future, such as a house or a car. That's the most important benefit of having a credit card, but there's also other pros as well. Carrying a credit card is a lot easier than carrying around cash, and it's also way safer because it protects you from fraud. A lot of credit card companies also offer a bunch of benefits and rewards, such as giving you 1% back for all the money you spend.
Wow, I didn't know that. So, how do we know what credit card to go with?
If you're good with spending and budgeting, you know you'll pay your bill on time. You won't be charged interest. So in this case, it is worth getting a card that comes with rewards, which typically tend to come with higher interest rates. If you don't think you can make all your payments on time, you'll most likely carry a balance. In this case, you should definitely choose a card with lower interest rates.
Is there a specific bank that you would recommend when choosing a card?
Not really. Banks like Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and Chase all have cards that come with different features, so you just have to do your own research and find what fits your needs.
Oh, you mean features like transaction fees, interest payments, late payments, and annual fees?
Yeah, we just need to get into ways to avoid debt and be responsible with payments and spending habits.
Here are a few tips I got from Tender Info News to help us out. According to the website, always make your minimum payments on time at the very least. Make the minimum payment by the due date. If possible, pay up the full balance on time to avoid interest charges altogether. Don't share your PIN with anyone. If something happens to your account and you've given someone your PIN, you will be paying the price. Avoid cash advances. There's often a fee associated with this, and the interest charge is charged immediately. Read your statements. Make sure your transactions recorded in your credit card statements are accurate, and check for any unfamiliar charges. Fraudsters can sometimes gain access to your cards without you noticing it. Lastly, it's not free cash. If you cannot afford to pay off what you're committing to spend on your credit card, think twice before making the purchase.
Now that we have a fundamental knowledge about credit cards, let's get into the interviews. First, I'm going to interview a friend of mine who is a sophomore at Pasadena City College. Let's get into it. Do I have your permission to record this conversation and use the interview for a podcast episode that will be publicly shared?
My name is Christina Edo, and yes, I give permission.
Okay, great. Let's get started. So, Christina, how long have you had your credit card for?
I got it around my 18th birthday, so it's been about 2 years now.
Oh, okay. So you've had it for some while now.
Yeah, but I just recently learned how to manage it better.
Do you mind reading out a few of your recent transactions?
Yeah, sure. Let me just pull it up. Okay, so yesterday I got charged for my Disney Plus membership. And then I spent some money at Starbucks. I went Black Friday shopping, so I spent some money at Urban Outfitters. And I spent around $300 on college applications. And then I have an afterpay payment. So a tip is like if you use any applications like afterpay where you have to make multiple payments every few weeks, I would make sure you know when you're going to be charged. Maybe like set a reminder on your phone so that you don't have to deal with any overcharge fees. I've been trying not to spend so much on clothes and just use my paycheck on necessities like for groceries or gas money.
Oh, nice. Was it easy to adjust using a credit card, or did it take some time to learn how to use your money efficiently?
Well, when I first got it, I was spending money pretty recklessly, and I was using it a lot on going out. But after some time, I realized I needed to make a change and not spend so much, so I started budgeting, especially with my meals.
Do you have any final tips for people just starting out?
I would say to keep track of your transactions and have a budget for each month. I was losing a lot of money on monthly subscriptions that I forgot about and I never even used. I also learned how to spend money responsibly on a variety of different things in order to maintain a good credit score.
Okay, I think that's it. So thank you for being a part of this podcast.
You're welcome.
Now I will be interviewing Jacqueline Rojas, a banker at Wells Fargo. She has been working for Wells Fargo for 3 years. Do I have permission to record this conversation and use it for an interview podcast episode that will be publicly shared?
You have my permission.
Okay, so Jacqueline, how long have you owned a credit card for?
I've had a credit card for 8 years now.
Wow, so it's been a while. So what do banks gain from letting people use their money?
Credit cards allow people to purchase goods without using money from a direct checking account. Instead, the money is taken from a bank or business. At the end of the month, the cardholder receives a bill and the person then decides whether to pay it completely or a lesser amount. If the balance is not paid in full, the credit card company charges interest, a percentage on whatever is still owed. If you can't pay on time, then you have to pay late fees, higher interest rates, and damage your credit score.
What if the cardholder can't pay? What if the cardholder can't pay at all? What if they have no money?
Well, then it's even a bigger issue. Your cards can be frozen, your debt could be sent to a collection agency, and in some states you can even be sued.
Okay.
So let's do a quick recap of what we learned today. So a debit card is your own money, and a credit card is borrowed money from a business or bank. With credit cards, you can either have good or bad credit score, which is completely determined by your behavior towards your payments. This score is extremely important for your future because it can dictate whether or not you can take out a big loan for purchases, such as a house or a car.
As for owning a credit card, make sure to make your payments on time and in full if possible, or else you will be charged interest. It is very easy to go in debt if you neglect to maintain good spending habits. So that's it for today. I'm your host, Elizabeth.
And I'm Charisse.
And thank you for listening to this episode of Educashional.
Thank you.
Educashional is a production by College One students at Pasadena City College.